Welcome, my friends, to today's yoga session where we are focusing on lower back and adductors. So let's get straight into it. Shoes and socks off onto your mat, and we begin with some spinal rolls. So take your feet out nice and wide than hip width apart. Check in with your body. You want to push your feet strongly into the floor, grow up through your legs, tuck your tailbone under, so squeeze your glutes, draw your belly button in, long through your back, relax through your shoulders, reach up through the top of your head. You might want to close your eyes, take a deep breath in. Bring your mind into your body and let's get going. Reaching up as tall as you possibly can. Hands pressed together. If you can, elbows together, and just bend down to where it feels comfortable for you. Bring your chin towards your chest and roll up. Now we just do this for a couple of minutes. We want to get the heart rate up a little bit. We want to get the muscles nice and warm, so that will allow us to stretch and improve our flexibility as we work through our poses. So you want to get the body nice and warm. And as you bend down, your knees are coming in line with your toes, and you're coming down just as low as you can towards the floor. So we're working through all our joints here. We want to get them all nice and warm. Good. Now you can go slower than me if you want to, or you can go quicker than me. But let's try to connect in with our breath. So breathe in on the way up. Now it's longer than you normally would, and when you breathe out, that's longer than you normally would as well. We do one more like that. Chin coming right in towards your chest. And one more time all the way down. Rolling back up. And let's get into our flow sequence. So bring your feet to the end of your mat, about hip width apart. You're going to reach up tall, you're going to draw down through one elbow and stretch up tall on the other side and feel a great stretch right through the side. And then same on the other way. So reach through the fingertips and pull down through the elbow. And again, you're trying to touch something just out of reach. And other side. Good. Hands come down onto your thighs, chin towards your chest. Bend your knees as much as you want to get your hands all the way down towards the floor. Relax the back of your neck, and then you're going to walk your hands forward. You can bend your knees here if you want to. Walk out to down dog. Hands shoulder width apart, feet hip width apart. Lift your tailbone up, gently push down through your heels. And now chin comes in towards your chest. Unravel all the way out to plank. And then drop your knees to the floor. Untuck your toes. From here, you're making a big circle around with your tailbone. Arms stay straight here, and then come back the other way. So belly button is right in. Good. Now, from here, tuck your toes. We're going to push back to broken toe pose. Lift your knees just up off the floor, and then replace them down, getting your butt as close as you can towards your heels, and your armpits pushing down towards the floor. From here, bring your weight forward, elbow to the floor, and come through for striking cobra, getting your chest down as low as you can. Roll your shoulders back, elbows in, nice long neck. Lift one kneecap up off the floor, and then the other, trying to keep the legs straight and trying to keep the hip bones down to the ground. Now, you can lift up to cobra here, with the arms still bent, or you can take those hands back a little bit and lift all the way up to up dog, bringing your chest forward. Option is to lift your chin as well. And then everybody, abs in nice and tight, tuck your toes under, push back to down dog, chest back towards your thighs. Bend your knees if you want to here, or keep your legs straight. Come all the way up to a fold. Now either keep your arms hanging and just rotate side to side, or hang on to your elbows. And then come back to the center. And chin in towards your chest. Roll yourself up. Use the backs of your legs. Abs in tight. And that is our sequence. Let's go again. Breath in. And reach with one fingertip. And then the other side. Pull the elbow right down. Good. And again. Stretch up as high as you can. Lift your ribs away from the hip. And release. Chin comes in towards the chest. Roll down. Feel that all the way down to your tailbone. And down to the floor. You can bend your legs here or keep them straight. Walk out to down dog. Keep your tailbone up high. push down through your heels, arms straight and strong. And now chin right in towards your chest and unravel to plank. Drop your knees to the floor. So shoulders should be above your wrists here. Big circle with your tailbone. 3 times one way, and then come back the other way. Big circle around. Warming up through your lower back. Okay, tuck your toes under. If you can, lift your kneecaps just up off the floor and then push your butt right back to your heels. Push down through your armpits, forward towards the floor. Now we slide through for our striking cobra. Untuck the toes, chest nice and low. As soon as you get flat down, reposition the shoulders, elbows in nice and tightly. Hip bones down as you lift one leg at a time. Good, squeezing the butt cheek. And now stay there if you want to, with our elbows bent, or hands back a little bit. Lift up through your chest, lift through your chin if that feels good. Everybody tucks their toes under and push back to down dog again. Good, now bent legs all straight, walk the hands back in. Good. And then when you're here, side to side, you can hold on to elbows if you want to. That makes it a little bit more intense, a little bit more weight. And then come back to the center, chin in towards the chest, and roll up. Good, now you know the sequence. You can go your own pace if you want to. Breath in, and reach. Good, other side. Stretching out. Push both feet firmly down into the floor. Grow up tall as you can. And now slide down. Good. And then bent legs, 4 straight legs. Look where you're going. Walk the hands forward into down dog. So your chest is trying to come back a little bit further towards your thighs. Straighten out your arms, wide back. Chin tucks in, unravel, and drop down. Good. Big circles around. Exaggerated circles. 3 one way. And then back the other way. Good. And now back to our broken toe pose. Tuck the toes under, lift the knees up, push your butt right back, and then drop down. Good, so try to go as low as you can. So like you're going under a barbed wire fence, and you don't want to snag your butt or your butt. Shoulders back, elbows in, belly button in, lift the legs. Squeeze nice and hard, get all the back of your body warmed up. And now stay down low for cobra or lift up. Good. Try lifting that chin if it feels good. Tuck the toes under. Back you go again. And now walk the hands back in. And a little bit more work through your lower back. One side and the other. Good, should be feeling pretty warm by now. Let's travel all the way back up and go through our sequence one more time. Good, connecting with your breath. Pull right down. Elbow is working here as well. So as well as reaching up, you're still pulling down on that other side. Good. Stretching out through that hip. That always feels good. Hands come back down. And rolling back down. Good, suck the belly in as you come down low. And then walk your hands out. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale back to down dog. Separate your shoulder blades, heels towards the floor. Tuck the chin in, roll back out, flat to plank. And then drop the knees down. Big circles around. Right around. 2, 3, and back the other way. And to remember which way to go then. Okay. Tuck the toes under. Lift the kneecaps up. Push yourself back. Good. Nice stretch through your shoulders. Keep your belly button in. Drop the elbows down. Slide through. Good. Now remember, reposition the shoulders first of all. Lengthen the neck back out again. And then lift the legs one at a time. Keeping the neck long. The shoulder blades in and down towards your tailbone. And then either up into cobra or Up dog. Squeezing the butt hard. And now lifting the tailbone, pushing back, just back towards your thighs. Walk the hands back. Good. And then chin towards your chest. Hold on to the elbows if that feels good. Rotate side to side. Good. And now we're going to roll all the way up. Chin comes in. Good. Unravel through your spine. Take a deep breath in. Gather in all that goodness. Bring it down into your body. And let's continue on. Okay, so we're going to start off standing, then we're going to come midway down, then we're going to come all the way down to the ground. But the first thing I want you to do, and I might stand straight on here, might be easier for you to see to begin with, is I want you to keep your knees in line with your toes. Now we're going to start off with the hand to the outside of the knee. Now the goal is we want to try to get these shoulders stacked on top of each other. See how my knee's going to come in like that? Without doing that. So you want to keep your knees level to the floor and rotate those shoulders around just as far as you can. This top hand, reach right back and then come behind your waist and reach around towards that thigh, this thigh. So, bend your knees, squeeze them together. Keep your eyes on your knees so you can make sure they're in line with your toes. And release. Roll the shoulders back. And let's do the other side. First thing, bend the knees. Hand comes to the outside of the knees. Reach up, open your chest. Make sure the knees aren't twisting inwards. Reach that hand back. And then this top hand comes behind the waist and reach towards that thigh. Go, keep squeezing the knees together. Keep rolling this top shoulder back. And release. Level 1, you're going to stay there. Level 2, you're going to bring this elbow down to the outside of the knee, so you're going to be bending a lot more. So we go to the outside. This is your option. Slide right down so the elbow's coming to the outside of the knee. Most important that these knees don't twist. They're in line with your toes. Top hand wraps around and use the knee and the lower back or the waist for leverage. Get those shoulders around. And release, rolling up. Let's do the other side. If that's too much, stay with the hand to the outside of the knee. Otherwise, bend the knees. Slide the arm down just to where it feels good for you. Make sure knees stay in line with toes. Open the chest. Top hand wraps behind the waist. Use the knee and the waist as leverage to try to stack the shoulders on top of each other. And release. Oh, should be feeling that through your lower back. Take your feet out wide, toes pointing outwards, hands to the inside of your knees. Now, as you push one thigh outwards, you're going to drop the shoulder forward. Now, from here, we're trying to get the shoulders forwards and backwards like this. And see how this knee's drifting in? You're going to use that hand to push the knee back in line with the toes. So, we're here, we drop the shoulder forward. We bring the tailbone under. So instead of staying like this, you're going to bring the tailbone under. Okay, breath in, breath out. Push the shoulder forward, push the shoulder back. Release this hand and wrap around towards that inner thigh. Keep this knee in line with the toes. And release. We're going to do the other side. Take a deep breath in. Tuck the tailbone under. Drop the other shoulder forward. Push the knee back. Release this arm. Wraps around the waist. Try to get towards the inner thigh. Pull the shoulder back, the back shoulder back, the front shoulder forward. Belly button in. And release. All right, we're going to go down further. Level 1, I want you to take your feet out so you can bring that butt down at least to knee height. If you can, I want you to come down further into Hindi squat. Now, ideally, it's probably better if I stay here. Ideally, your feet would be slightly narrower than hip width apart. If you can't get your heels on the floor, like mine, if your ankle mobility isn't great, take them out slightly wider. So take them out so your heels can find the floor. Elbows are going into your knees. Level 1, you're up higher like this. Back is nice and flat. Okay, everybody. So if you're like this level 1, same thing. Arm reaches, try to reach around for the thighs. Level 2, you're here. Arm reaches and then wraps around. Knee has to stay with toes. Try to get the shoulder back. Okay, and release. If you need a rest through those quads, come up. Have a deep breath. And let's do the other side. Coming back down. Elbows into the knees. Arm reaches. Hand comes around the back. Push the knees out in line with your toes. And releasing. Everybody come down to the floor. Yeah, that's a big quad workout as well, holding yourself in place. Okay, hand to the front of your knees. Chin, I was going to say elbow. Chin comes in towards your chest. Big hunch through your back. And releasing, breath in. Breath out. One more time, breath in. And breath out. Okay, let's move on. Taking your feet out wide. Now you're going to feel this in both places this time. You're going to feel it through your adductors and you're going to feel it through your lower back. Take your feet out as wide as you possibly can. If that means you're here and you're feeling a really good stretch to your adductors, stay there. Otherwise, take your feet out as wide as you possibly can, and we're going to start everybody with a slight knee bend. Arm comes to the inside of the thigh or down further, it's up to you, and roll that top shoulder back. Reach your arm back as far as you can. Now, when you can't go any further, I want you to push this knee towards the ground and take your elbow down just as far as you can, which might be up here, and that's totally fine, but down as far as you can, and then roll the shoulder back even further. You're going to feel an almighty stretch through your lower back on this side. Now it's up to you what you do with this leg. To make it easier, keep the leg bent. To get more of a stretch, push the knee down. Reach right back. I love this stretch for my lower back. Reaching. So try to get the thumb out of sight. Stretch right back. And releasing, coming up. Reset. Start with the knees bent. Other side. Elbow to the inside of the thigh. Shoulder rolls right back. When you're ready, when you can't go any further, drop that knee towards the ground. If you want to, drop the other one down as well, and then roll back even further. Try to get the thumb out of sight. This elbow is towards your inner thigh for leverage. If it's too much, use the back of your hand. Reach back, reach back, reach back, and releasing. This time, take your legs out a little bit further. If you can, reposition yourself so you're getting that stretch through your inner thighs. This time, start with your legs straight or as straight as you can get them, and let's go again. Elbow or hand to the inner thigh, and you should be able to go that little bit further this time. Shoulder right back, belly button in, feel it through your lower back. So our goal isn't coming over, our goal is getting the shoulder back. And release. Let's do the other side. Elbow, hand, whatever. Reach back. Good. Feel it through your inner thigh. Get the elbow back, get the shoulder back, get the thumb back, get everything back. Reach back. And releasing. Let's bring those feet back in. And then once more, holding onto the front of your knees. Chin in towards your chest. Big hunch. Nose in towards your belly button. And then sit back up, breath in, and breath out. All right, it's time for our balance. Now the good thing about our balance is you've already done this stretch. All we're doing is adding an extra little balance element into it. So at the start, I'll start here, we did this, knees in line with our toes and opened up. The only difference that you're going to be doing is we're going to be adding a little bit of movement at the start, and you're going to be lifting your heels up off the floor. So, let's get started. To make it easier, bring your heels just off the floor. To make it harder, lift your heels right up off the floor. Let's get going. Focus on a spot that's not me, because I'm going to move. So focus on something other than me. So heels are off the floor. As hands come down the midline, bend your knees. Squeeze your knees together take your eye gaze down to your knees, hand comes to the outside of your knee, other shoulder rolls back. Now lift your heels, see if you can go a little bit higher, and then it's up to you if you want to slide that elbow down to the outside, slide your elbow down to the outside of your knee. Lift your heels, squeeze your knees, roll this shoulder right back, and release, rolling up. Let's do that on the other side. So lift the heels, it's a big calf workout. Focus on your spot. Good, keep the heels lifted the whole time. Hand comes down through the midline. Bend your knees. As you do, squeeze your legs together. Take your eye gaze down to your knees. Hand comes to the outside of the knee. Good. Roll the shoulder back and now slide down. You don't have to do this. Go down to where it feels good for you. Lift the heels up that little bit further. Take this top hand back a little bit further if you can. And release and roll up. Good. Let's do one more time. Each side. Breath in. Lift the heels. See if you can challenge yourself. Can you take your heels up a little bit higher? Good. Come down through the midline. Bend your knees. Eyes come down. Keep your heels lifted. Good. Remember, knees always stay in line with your toes. Don't twist. Get that twist through your shoulders. Lift the heels a little bit more. Fingertips reach back. And release. Oh, okay. One more time. Regroup. Let's go. Breath in. Lift the heels. Good. Try to keep them up off the floor. Down through the midline. Good. Bend the knees. Hand comes to the outside. Slide down. Good. Keep the knees with the toes. Use that elbow for leverage. Reach right back. Lift the heels. And heels down. And roll up. Nice one. Okay, let's go back to our sun salutation sequence. And it's going to feel so much better this time because you're nice and warm and stretched. So, and you know the sequence, so you don't have to follow along with me. Go at your own pace. Breath in, stretch up tall, pull the elbow down, reaching up as high as you can. And on the side, stretching out. And again. Remember, elbow is pulling down as well. Push through your feet. And sliding down, chin comes in towards the chest. Sliding all the way down, belly's in. Good. And walk the hands out. Good. Now take your feet hip width apart. Lift your tailbone. Push your chest back towards your thighs. Good. Strong, straight arms. And now chin comes in, unravel. Drop your knees down to the floor. And get into our circles through our tailbone. These should be bigger than we started off with. Now that we've warmed up our back. And back the other way. Good. 3 times each way. And now tuck the toes under. Lift the knees up off the floor. Push your butt right back towards your heels. Armpits push down. Forehead towards the floor. And then when you're ready, sliding yourself forward. Elbows meet the floor. Chest comes nice and low. Realign those shoulders. Elbows in, belly button in, long neck. Lift one leg. And then the other. Good. And go again. Nice job. Okay. Cobra or hands come back a little bit through to up dog. Chest comes through, butt squeezed tightly. And now tuck the toes under. Push back to down dog again. Heels towards the floor, chest back towards the thighs. Good. And then when you're ready, walk your hands in. Heels find the floor. Chin tucks in towards the chest. Hold on to the elbows if you want to. And we go side to side. Good. Keep the tailbone lifted. Keep the belly button in. Good. One more time. That feels so good. We're going to do one more thing here too, because it feels good as well. Release the hands. Nod your head yes. Shake your head no. Chin right over towards your shoulders. One more time. Nod your head yes. Shake your head no. And Releasing. If you want to, hold on to your elbows, belly button in, use the backs of your legs, roll yourself up, all the way. Good. Take a deep breath in, reach up tall. Once again, gathering all that goodness, bring it right down into your body. Nice job. I hope you're feeling good. I hope you've got a nice release through your lower back and through your adductors. Make sure you have a walk around. Get your heart rate back down. It shouldn't be too high, but get it back down. Have a big drink of water. Look after yourselves. Have a great rest of the day or night. And hopefully we'll see you next week for some more yoga. Level 2 advanced people, go and grab a band and put it on. That is going to make your workout more intense, a little bit more challenging. Beginners, no bands at all, or you can use one of your light bands. It's totally up to you. Let's get straight into it. We are doing 45 seconds of each exercise and 15 seconds rest and transition time. So we're starting off over in horse stance. So you're kneeling on one side of the band, shoulders over your wrists. Now this is what you're doing, lifting your heel up and then taking your knee out to the side and coming around. Heel lifts, rotate around and coming out. Now you must have your arms straight and strong for this, and of course your core switched on. So belly button is in, nice and tight. Our goal is to try to make a big circle around with your knee. Try not to twist your hips so much. So try to keep your belly button facing to the floor. Squeeze through your glute, come right around and then back. Lift through the heel, knee out to the side and right around. So you are working all angles of that glute. Okay, bring your band back up above your knees, rolling over onto your back. You are going to take your knees above your hips, but start off lengthening opposite arm to leg. So you're reaching out as far as you can and then coming back in. Belly button is in. And make sure it's opposite arm to leg. Stretch out just as far as you can. The goal here is to make your spine longer. It is not about going fast, it's about going slow, reaching out as far as you can and then back in. The whole time your belly button is in, reaching out, nice and long. Now if that is too much for you, you could just do arms or just do legs. Gently push your lower back towards the floor so you can feel it through your abs. It is slow and controlled. Lengthening out and then coming back in. Belly in and radio. You got to swap legs now. We're going to do those hip rotations on the other side. So make sure you swap legs. I'm sure you can remember which one it was. Shoulders over wrists, abs in nice and tight. Okay, you ready? Push the heel to the roof. Big circle around and then back. Good. The goal is you're making a bigger circle possible with your knee. Push up, come around, and then back down. Good. Now you've only got to do each exercise twice. We've got 5 exercises and 2 rounds. Lift, come right around, and then back. Spine as long as you can make it. Eyes should be towards your fingertips. Good job. Draw the belly button in. Okay, yow. This time, you have level 1, you're going to keep your feet to the floor. You're going to lift your shoulders up off the floor, you're holding onto a big beach ball, and you're coming over to the side, and then back to the center. Now level 2, knees are over your hips, shoulders lift, legs don't move. So level 1 or level 2, you've got to keep your knees square to the roof. Shoulders stay off the floor. You rotate to the side, draw the belly button in, and come back to the center. When you get to the center, see if you can lift up just a millimeter, because you'll probably drop a little bit as you rotate to the side, and then back in. Good, knees stay over the hips. See if you can lift your shoulders a little bit. Good, now suck your belly button in. Don't let it push out. Suck it in. You've only got 10 seconds. Lift up a little bit. And the other side. Roll to the side. Good. Suck your belly button in. and release. Okay, from here, we're doing one crunch, one hip thrust. Level 1, you can do upper body only. One sit up, and then pushing your hips to the roof. Level 2, you're going to do upper and lower. Breathe out, and then feet come down hip width, and then push your hips to the roof as high as you can. Now you can go fast to the knee if you want to, or slower, as long as you're using good technique. Now as you push those hips to the roof, I want you to gently take your knees out past your little toes. So we're taking our knees out wide. Good. And then push out. Squeeze. Suck your belly button in at the top. Get your shoulders up off the floor, level 2. And push out. Good. You should be able to feel those glutes. And up. And that's our last exercise after this. We're back to the beginning. Okay, back to the beginning. So back to our horse stance with our hip rotations. So knee on one side, shoulders over wrists, arms straight and strong. Okay, think about where you're working. Push up through the heel, come right around. Good. Make the circle bigger. Long spine. Try not to twist the hips too much. And this side should be burning already. Keep the abs in. Protecting your lower back. Making sure it's the glute doing the work, not your lower back. Up and around, just about there. You should feel this through the other side as well, as it's keeping you steady. Okay, cross crawl. Now, if you want to this time, so you could do just arms or just legs or both, or you can lift that head up off the floor as well. Now, I shouldn't say just head, lifting your shoulders and your head. So you're not just doing this, lifting through your neck, shoulders are coming up. Good. Now it is up to you, you don't have to, if that is uncomfortable through your neck, put your shoulders and your head back on the ground. Reaching out nice and long, stretch it out, and then back in. Try to keep the knees over the hips. Don't bring the knees in towards the chest. Belly button in, you've only got 10 seconds. Reach it out. Good, just about there. Last one. Oh, okay, over we go. Other side for our hip rotations. Kneeling down. Last lot of these. And away we go. Right the way around. Good. Push the heel up. Now remember, we're trying to get our hips staying square to the floor. Try not to use your lower back. Keep the belly in. Chin should be away from the chest. Don't let it drop in. And big circles. Big, exaggerated circles. Right the way around. Okay, we've got 2 more. Beach balls. Slow and controlled. So come down. You can have feet on the floor if you want level 1, or bring them up. They should be over your hips. Lift and rotate. And then back to the center. Now this is a good exercise too, where you can focus on pulling up through your pelvic floor. So think about your pelvic floor drawing up towards your belly button. And your belly button pulling in towards your spine. And your waist coming in towards your spine as well. So make your waist as narrow as you can. If you think about all those things, you'll be switching on your core muscles. All those stabilizing muscles. Okay, you've got less than 10 seconds. And rest. Okay, one crunch, one hip thrust. Now, option this time is to do a 3-pulse crunch. So right on one and hold, 3 pulses, and then release. You don't have to. You can do the first option if you want to. Okay, 1, 2, 3. That's up to you. And squeeze it out. Squeeze. 2, 3. And lift up. Nice and tall. Push the knees out. Last little bit of work coming up. Push. Good. And hopefully everything's burning now. But it'll make you feel good for the rest of the day. Almost guaranteed. 3 seconds, 2, 1, and we're done. Nice work. Hope you enjoyed that and enjoy your rest of the day.